Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today is a continuation of the anxiety game. We would love for you to play along with us. If you missed part one, head to last week's episode to catch it. And to play along, if you haven't yet grabbed your bingo card, make sure to head to our page on Instagram at #anxietypodcast to grab a copy of your bingo card. Again, it's at #anxietypodcast. Let's get back to playing. All right, I feel this one too. Ordering at Starbucks.
Oh, that's a great one.
The word, right?
Yeah. Well, I hadn't thought about it till you said it just now, but it's like, yeah, I will recite the order in my head, I don't know, 10 times or 15 times before I get to the speaker to give my order. Does that make me weird? You can say it. You can say it.
I don't think so because I'm on the same boat as you.
Okay.
Particularly Starbucks, just call it a damn large. I don't know your venti, your whatever, and your coffee is gross, but I'm gonna order it because everybody knows Starbucks and everybody wants to go to Starbucks.
Right.
I think I just have anxiety about that. And for some reason, maybe it's just the Starbucks I've been to. I feel like the people there are extra snobby, which my instant response is I feel like I have to fight the power somehow. So I never order a venti or whatever. I always order just a large coffee.
Do you really? I love
every
that.
I have anxiety about it. It's not like I'm cool as a cucumber.
No, you're cool.
The whole time I'm like, I know they're going to say something. And is it a venti? Is it a whatever else they call it? I don't know. I just want a coffee.
You are a rebel and I love you all the more for it. I had no idea that you do that.
If I'm with people, sometimes I'm like, I'll just have what they're having because I hate ordering at Starbucks so much. But usually it's just a large coffee. Just give me a large burnt coffee at your
I love that so much that you're a rebel. It feels a little judgy at the Starbucks from time to time. There are some lovely people there, but sometimes it feels a little judgy. Like I don't have a fancy order. I feel like it's not a fancy order, but I'll rehearse it in my head 10 times before I get to the speaker. So maybe it's fancy to me and I feel judged. It's back to, I don't want to put anybody out. Like I'm a people pleaser. Like if I get it wrong, that he or she or they are going to say, well, wait, did you want 2 pumps of sugar-free vanilla or could you repeat that? I just don't want to put people out. So that's my own issue for sure.
I'm with you. This is not on the list, but this reminds me of something that does cause me crazy anxiety. I will never send something back in a restaurant ever, unless you just brought me like a basically live cow on a plate. I am not sending anything back. I might bitch to the person I'm having the meal with and be like, this is not what I ordered. Yeah. But I'm never going to say anything or ask for those things. That causes me so much anxiety. I had to get my oil changed the other day. How long should that take? An hour and a half?
Wow, that seems like a long time.
For 3 hours. And the whole time, it shouldn't take that long. The whole time I kept being like, I'm going to go up and ask. I'm going to go up and ask. But then someone would be at the counter and I'd be like, okay, I'll just wait. It's fine. I don't have to be anywhere until later. You know how long my car was sitting there ready for me?
Oh, no.
Probably an hour. I should have just asked. But I have such anxiety, I think, about putting people out or just
people out. Yeah.
I assume you know what you're doing. And if my car was ready, you would come get me. And so then I just say, well, then am I being condescending? Like they know how to do their job. But clearly this guy didn't know how to do his job.
The older I get, the less I think oh yeah, they know what they're doing. Because the older I get, the younger those people are. And those whippersnappers don't know anything. So, but I get it. You don't want to bug anybody. You don't want to put people out. And then you're sitting there for 3 hours. So that sucks. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's my anxiety.
It should take like 45 minutes tops, Cassie. I'm just saying.
This could be why I never go get my oil changed. I'm like, because then I'm going to have to sit around and wait. And the whole time I could have left. How about you? What if your meal comes out completely or even just like a little bit incorrect?
The only time I've ever said anything was when I found those twist ties that go on a bread bag. Yeah, that was in my casserole or something I got at some restaurant. Yeah. So that I, quietly whispered to the waiter or the wait staff, could you take this away. And they were so mortified. And the manager came over to speak to me and said, we do a lot of bread work back there, and I'm so sorry, and what can we get you? And at that point I have no appetite, so I'm like, no, I'm good, really. I think I'm just going to sit here with my water, I'm fine. So but that's the only time. But I've never really had an issue where something gross and disgusting was placed in front of me and I'm like, I won't eat that. So for me, it's not a big deal, and it doesn't make me anxious. And I enjoy the restaurant experience for the most part. I have a daughter who works in the food service industry, so I have mad respect for those folks. Man, they work their butts off and they put up with so much, and people just throwing fits over nothing. So I think that also makes me a little more accepting and welcoming and not anxious, because it's like, I know what my daughter goes through, and people can be asshats. So for me, it's not a big deal.
Maybe that's what it is. I've worked in food service, so I think I just don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But if something was horribly wrong, I still couldn't be that guy because I'd have way too much anxiety about it.
Good to know.
I don't have a lot of experience with this one, but I think it would cause a lot of anxiety. Online dating.
Wow, I don't even know where to start. I've been divorced I've been separated for a long time, for a while, 6 years, and the divorce took for fucking ever, for reasons that it's best I don't go into today. But it's finally done. And, so nonetheless, I dipped my toe into the online dating world for a really brief time, because here's what transpired. I didn't know I'd be telling this story today, but here we are. So I, match, or whatever the hell they call it, with this person and this man. And so we're messaging on the app, and he says, is it okay with you if we text instead? It's just easier and faster. And I'm like, sure, fine, whatever. So, and it wasn't creepy. We'd already talked, because there'd been some creeps prior to that. What are you wearing, and what kind of kiss are you? I'm like, block, delete, gone. But this guy was fine. We'll say his name is Sean. And so it was fine to that point. So like, we're texting. He, in the process of that, he says, I got to go to bed. I work early in the mornings. And I said, what kind of work do you do that has, because he said, like, I got to get up at 4:30 or something. What kind of work do you do? He says, I'm a machinist who works the machine thing. And he sends me a picture of this big machine that he works on. So I'm like, cool. And have a great night. Talk to you later. So, hello, this man is dealing with someone whose ex-husband was arrested by the federal marshals. And, I've had to do my own investigating for a lot of that, because he stopped talking to me. So I didn't know what the hell was going on. Right. So I had to find out all of my information about what was happening in court and when and what. I found all of that in line. So Sean and I stopped texting for the evening. And so I now know what his first name is, and that he's a machinist. And I know the general area where he lives. So Google and I, got together, and I'd say 3.5 minutes in, I find the arrest record for him for domestic violence. And he had a court date coming up in a couple of weeks. So I screenshot it and I texted it to him and said, this you, Sean? Because then I found his picture on Facebook and the picture that was on the dating app were the same. So I knew it was the same guy. So anyway, because I learned his last name and then Googled and found the arrest record. So screenshot, is this you, Sean? And then I said, been there, done that, not doing it again. I wish you all the best. And then, send it, and then blocked him. So that was the last experience that I've had on online dating. And I wasn't anxious about it. I was just irritated. It's like, it's so much damn work to just wade through the shit. And, and get to somebody that's real. That being said, I know lots and lots of people who have great relationships and they found each other online, which I dig. So maybe that, there's still hope for me down the road, but right now it's too much work. I don't have that kind of time or patience. How about you?
I agree. I have a lot of friends who have great results online dating. I stand corrected. That's a second thing that ghosting would totally have been appropriate. I would have supported 1,000%. Been like,
Thank you.
hi, dude.
Yeah.
So I think men just say yes to everything and then meet up and see how it goes. Women are ridiculous of like, I have to read everything on the profile. And if they don't have all the right pictures, the general rule, if you are a cisgendered straight man, do not take a picture of yourself in the bathroom mirror shirtless because you are a douche. Don't do it. No girl is going to say yes to that. Don't. Doesn't matter how good looking you are. And do not send unsolicited dick pics unless you want the ultimate harassment. So every once in a while when I was single, I would let my friends, we'd be having a few drinks and I'd be like, sure, sign up for whatever online dating app you want, swipe away, whatever. I'll wake up in the morning and be like, what in the actual fuck am I looking at? And then I'd enjoy my next day because I'd be like, don't send me a dick pic I didn't ask for if you don't want a full critique. So that's my experience with online dating. It didn't give me anxiety, but it gave me a lot of entertainment. And my friends.
I would like to have read the full critique.
Yeah.
You are I want to get this right. You are a wizard of language. And I can imagine that the burns in the critique were fantastic.
I feel like I was always very kind. And then I would always say, just so you know, don't send dick pics.
Yeah.
You're not an adolescent boy. You are a grown ass man. If somebody wants that, they'll ask you for it. Call me old fashioned. If I want to see your penis, I would like to do it in person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And if I want a picture, I'll ask you for it. But don't hold your breath for that. But if I did, I would ask. But I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Dane Cook, I'm pretty sure, is who I heard say this. Like, he's a comedian. He's a little raunchy, but I once heard him say, like, it's not a mantelpiece. Like, nobody is making art of that. Like, you know what? It's so true. I don't get it. I think in general, just dating, whether it's online or whatever, old-fashioned dating, it is an anxiety producing thing, right? It's always anxiety producing, like meet someone new and how are you going to recognize them when they walk in the restaurant if you don't really know, and all of those things cause anxiety. But
I feel like that puts us all on an even playing field. I agree with you. Like, we're all, to my awareness, I don't know anybody who's not anxious about that. Male, female, makes no difference. Everybody is nervous about how they're going to come across to the other person and how it's going to go. And I think that puts us on an even playing field.
Yeah. This is my last one. And at first I thought this was weird, but then I was all about it because it's me. Getting a massage.
Oh, you go first. Then I want to hear your sitch.
So I actually get really anxious about massages. I enjoy them. I can relax to my ability of being able to relax. I have a lot of mind chatter the whole time. And I have a lot of anxiety of like, oh my God, did I remember to shave my legs? Because for some reason, all I can think about is like, if I have hairy legs, this is going to be ridiculous. But I do have a lot of mind chatter. And I didn't know that wasn't normal. I didn't know people weren't laying there like relaxed, but also thinking, how much time has gone? How much longer? How low is he going to pull my underwear? What's happening? Am I making weird noises? Like, whatever thoughts pop into my head. I didn't really know that wasn't normal until we'd got a couple massage and he's over there snoring.
Oh.
How are you that relaxed? At some point, they're going to tell you to turn over. I need to be prepared for that moment. I don't know. Like, I thought I was relaxed until I realized there's a whole nother level of like being relaxed that I've never achieved.
Wow. That I feel like I'm somewhere between you and your man. Like, I'm not quite as have as much mind chatter. I like that term, right? That's what you said, mind chatter. Yeah, that's a cool term. I don't have quite as much mind chatter as you're expressing, but I'm also not asleep. Number one, I don't want to be asleep because I don't want to miss it because it feels so good. And I feel like, they wake you up in an hour or 90 minutes or whatever, like, okay, you're all done. It's like, I would have missed the whole thing. How do I know if it was any good? So I could not fall asleep, but I'm a little bit more of the, has it been 10 minutes? Has it been 15 minutes? How much time do I have left? That's really what it is, because I'm enjoying it and I don't want it to end. So I'm like, how much time do I have left? Do you think is there still like 30 minutes? Because it's going to be really good. And then sometimes I'll get a little pissy and ornery in my own head about, you better not finish early. Like, you better not cut me off 5 minutes early because I'm paying good money. And that's like, that is dumb, to think that in your head. Just enjoy it. So I have to talk myself down off the ledge a little bit, but for the most part, I've had enough of them that I don't get anxious in advance. I look forward to it, and then I try not to miss the good stuff.
I think I also have anxiety afterwards of like, I need to do this more. Why am I not doing this more? When is my next massage going to be? And then I kind of go off the deep end. But
my only anxiety after is, did I give them an appropriate tip?
mm-hmm.
I just want to be a good customer, like a good consumer. And also some are better than others. And also I'm not made of money. So I try to find a balance of all of those things. And then once I've paid, it's like, okay, I'm out. I'm good.
Yeah. That's another episode we need to do, is financial anxiety. I think that's a big one that people have anxiety around.
Yeah, I think so too. And it affects every area of your life. We should do that one for sure.
The last thing, experts, whoever these experts are, Mother Google says cause anxiety are coffee and caffeine and red wine. I will never give up coffee.
Okay.
It's life, even if it is causing anxiety. I don't think it is. But soda pop, especially in the afternoon, there is a difference from coffee to soda. Soda gets me a little bit amped up. If I'm already anxious,
Good to know. I gave up. I drink iced decaf latte. And I did that on purpose for that very reason. And I did it a number of years ago, kind of when things were first crazy with my ex and all that kind of stuff. My anxiety was already through the roof, and I didn't need something to make it even worse. But I really like, especially an iced coffee in the summertime, an iced latte in the summertime. So, and we talked about this last week, I'm kind of ritualistic. Like, I eat the same thing for breakfast every day. I have toast and an iced latte, and it's comforting to me and I enjoy it. So I didn't want to give that up, but the caffeine just put me over the top, to the point where I was like, my heart would race and I'm like, I'm going to have a freaking heart attack if I don't stop this. So I switched. It doesn't taste quite the same, but I found one that's good and it works for me. So I'm good with that. But I will tell you that yesterday, because I hadn't slept well, as generally the case, I had, for the first time in a while, a Zip Fizz. And you put it in a bottle of water, and it's flavored and it's fizzy, but it also has B12 and then a bunch of caffeine in it. And because I was kind of dragging my tuchus yesterday, and it's all fun and games for like that first hour or two. You're like, yes, this is the bomb. I'm getting so much done and this is great. And then the crash is rough. And for me, it's not a crash of like no energy. It's a crash of my anxiety is through the roof, like way over the top. And at first I'm like, why am I so weak? Oh yeah, I did have that Zip Fizz. So it's it's a fun and games at first, and then it's just, and I was pretty frazzled is kind of a good word for me for that. I was pretty frazzled for a couple hours after the good effects were gone. I was pretty anxious and frazzled, and for me, then that feels like a heaviness in my chest, and I have to really consciously breathe deep to try and get that to feel better and that kind of thing. So it's not worth it to me. I knew better and I did it anyway. And sometimes we do that because we're humans, but for the most part, I try to avoid a lot of caffeine because it's miserable afterwards.
It's interesting because I once in college, the reason I actually started drinking coffee was I read an article that for people with OCD, coffee in the morning actually helps. So I started drinking a cup of coffee in the morning and I felt like it actually did kind of like help me focus a little bit,
Oh,
I think it's the ritualistic piece of it is part of it, but
yeah.
it always kind of helps me like focus and get set and kind of ready for the day. But then if I have caffeine, like a soda in the afternoon, same thing, exact same experience. I'm great for an hour. I love
Yeah.
it. And then I always notice I'm much more anxious about life in general after
Yeah.
it wears off.
Right. There's a cartoon. I'll see if I can find it, but it's, or maybe it's a meme, but it's this animated character who has some coffee and they're like, woo, this is great. This is fantastic. It's a great day. And then, oh no, oh no, oh no, as they're coming off the other side, because that's how it feels. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I remember this feeling and I remember it sucks. In the moment, you're like, oh yeah, bring on that caffeine. I'll feel better. That's not how that shakes out. Now tell me about red wine, because I'm not a red wine drinker, but that makes people anxious. Wait, that seems
According to
counterintuitive.
Google, I mean, you can't believe everything on the internet. I don't think wine gives me anxiety. I'm not a big drinker. So if I have a glass of wine,
Same.
I'll have one glass of wine with
Yeah.
dinner. So I don't know if it's like a certain amount, but anybody listening,
Yeah, we
if
need
you've
some
had that
information.
experience, yeah. I mean, I think if you're drinking a lot and you realize you drank a lot of red wine, you probably have a crap load of anxiety because that hangover is going to be awful. Uh, I can't even imagine. I mean,
Right.
I had a red wine hangover, but it's been 30 years. Well, not 30 years,
Been a
but
minute.
it's been a while
Been a
and it
minute.
wasn't great. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a big drinker. And so, and if I do have a drink, it's not generally wine. It would be, you know, a, a mixed drink of some sort. And I'd probably have one every 6 months. So it's not a big deal for me. But I have lots of friends who are wine drinkers. So I'll take a little survey and
yeah,
get back to you about that and
I'm
see if that's a
interested in
thing.
knowing. And I'm curious as to why red wine would cause anxiety, but I didn't see anything online about white wine. So I
Right. Right. So it does
canon
make you
con
wonder if there's a difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
We'll
know.
we'll do some research, listeners, and we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, it's good for your heart apparently in small quantities, but it can increase anxiety. So drink with caution, as you should always, I suppose.
That's a great little caveat. Thank you for that.
Thanks for playing the anxiety game with us. We would love to know if any of these things also cause you anxiety or if there is something else on your list that you encounter that causes anxiety.
That was fun, Cassie. I liked it. Thanks for the anxiety game. Maybe we'll get some more suggestions from our listeners and we can do round 2 of the anxiety game and see it's interesting because it helps, it helps us kind of get to know each other a little better. And in the grand scheme of things, it helps us to kind of get to know our community a little better and maybe be more appreciative of what each other goes through. So I liked it. Thank you.
Make sure to share your anxiety of the week with us. So, whatever is causing you anxiety this week, mine would definitely be the fact that I just can't go and ask somebody for something and I end up sitting around for an hour longer than I needed to. Use hashtag anxiety of the week and tag us at hashtag anxiety podcast.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We hope to have you with us again next time. Bye.